Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan battle video. So in this video we are going to take a look at how the EZA for physical SS3 Gotenks performs in the Majin Buu Saga Extreme Super Battle Road stage. So we're going to get a good look at how this card performs. Obviously the Majin Buu Saga team is quite powerful. My SS3 Gotenks is only at 55%. But I still think he performs quite admirably in this stage. I think he does a good amount of damage. I think his damage is going to be his number one asset in this stage at 55%. He does a good attack stat. If you can get his 11 key, you can also get it super effective against all types, which obviously is incredibly useful in the multi-typed stages. You can link him with the Int Gotenks, which is what we're going to do, which makes a very solid pairing with the stun. And then obviously also his defense is at a decent clip, especially for a 55% unit. I think he does really well. The evasion will come in handy slightly as well. So overall I think it's going to be a good showing from him. I think he's been pretty impressive from the reviews, the showcases. I think he's a unit that if you have him, you should be easy-Aing him. I don't see a reason for you not to hold out on the resources for this card. I think he's definitely one of the better easy A's, and I think at 55% he's still well worth the time and investment, the Zeni, the Kais, everything about him. So we'll just see how he performs here, and we'll take a look and give our verdict, I guess. He is going to be linked up with the Int Gotenks, I should say, sorry, and we're going to see how he performs. So there is currently no item active, so we're going to get a good look at what kind of damage he's going to take without an item, which will be a lot. It is Extreme Super Battle Road, 112k. So just obviously to put in perspective, 112k is a lot of damage. But Extreme Super Battle Road is very rarely this kind of stage that you take without using items. You know, there's a lot of units that can tank double digits. There's a lot of teams that can do no item runs, but they are strictly designed for that purpose. A Rainbow SS3 Gotenks with full level linked probably would still take quite a bit of damage there, but he would dish out so much damage in return that it would be negligible and you could possibly do a no item run. However, I think obviously the main thing you want to check when doing these runs is that the unit can survive an attack with an item. As long as the unit is taking somewhat close to double digits or does not die basically from one mistimed super attack, you're basically in the money when it comes to how these units perform. So yeah, I think we'll get a good look at Gotenks. I think we'll be able to see how he does. I think his damage has been great, and it'll just be good to see how he defends with an item. But that being said, I don't think his performance there was that bad. I think it was more than acceptable without an item. 112k, he didn't die from a single normal attack, so there we go. All benefits from there. We'll activate the heal here just so that we can obviously save ourselves some items. This team very easily could do this ESBR. I am going to be very lenient with items. I'm not going to be spamming them. It's not about the clear. It's more just about getting a good idea of all the spectrums of this performance of this 55% Gotenks. So we're not going to focus on clearing the stage or anything like that. We're just going to try and get as many raw attack stats, raw damage stats, and just a good idea of how he performs with items, without, etc. I don't think Vegeta will survive beyond this. If he does, Gotenks will definitely kill him. Well, the SS3 one, I should say. So yeah, but really clean first fight there, especially considering we allowed ourselves to take quite a substantial amount of damage. So yeah, really good performance so far. I think it'll be good to see here how he does. There's a strength enemy, so it's going to be nice to see what kind of damage he takes with a normal attack against that enemy. And we're just going to be able to see how he performs. If he takes a non-substantial amount of damage from a normal attack from Gotenks, he's going to be sitting in a good spot. I think at that stage we can not call it perfect or anything like that, but I think it's definitely that's kind of the metric we want to measure him by. How much damage does he take from the strength Gotenks? If he doesn't take a lot of damage with an item active, then he's good to go. If he does take a lot of damage, it's not going to say that he's bad or anything like that. It's just that you must be wary about him in Extreme Super Battle Road stages at 55% against strength types. That's all it really means. It just means his defense is not entirely at its peak at 55%, which is understandable. Very few units of 55% tank Extreme Super Battle Road stages, or a lot of difficult content, really. So, yeah, gonna be a good metric to see next turn. He might have support. He might actually have the strength Gotenks. Yeah, he does. So this is as good a measurement we're gonna get of him. He's got an item active. He's got support there, so he's at 120k. And yeah, we'll get a good look at how he does, which is gonna be really good. We'll also get a nice look at his damage, which will be nice to see. And then hopefully from there we can see how he performs for the rest of the stage. Maybe his evasion will come in handy. We'll see. But as you can see, Int Gotenks, also taking some decent damage. So you can tell the stage is obviously quite difficult. We do have a Whis active. We have support on the rotation. This is a 120k defense unit. Gotenks with a 3.8 million super effective against all types attack stat. Very impressive. And 64k from the Gohan. So yeah, we didn't quite get to see obviously Gotenks damage or take out or do anything really to the SS3 Gotenks, but we did manage to see Gohan hit him with a super. Obviously that's a neutral or a type disadvantage one, but 64k is still pretty good. And we got to see a really good attack stat out of him, 3.8 million, super effective against all types. So at this point in time, I'm going to say he is more than adequate for an Extreme Super Battle Road stage, for the Majin Buu Saga Extreme Super Battle Road stage, and for a 55% unit, I'm going to give him a very, very good score here. I'm going to say that he's performing very well. I think he's a unit that at 55% you could be more than happy to take into this Extreme Super Battle Road stage for sure, but probably into many other Extreme Super Battle Road stages. He's got the stats, he's got that 100k kind of defense, 120ish k with support, he's got the offensive abilities, and that chance to evade, even though it's not more than 50%, it's 30%, it's still helpful. It may still save you. It's way better than having 3 dodge on a card or something ridiculous. So yeah, it's way more helpful than not having it. And I think in these kind of stages, dodging a super attack or a crucial normal attack or anything like that, it's really going to help you out. But yeah, we obviously now have him paired up. We still have support. That's one nice thing about the Majin Buu Saga team. You can really kind of give this Gotenks quite a bit of support, which obviously helps him out. He'll be sitting at that 120k threshold again. So yeah, we're going to see some good numbers from him again, I assume. So yeah, really quite happy with everything. By the way, this is just a good showing of how hard enemies hit in these stages. You can't control how much these enemies do. They just do such an insane amount of damage. But we get the stun there. Obviously that's really awesome. The stun really does help us out, as always. And getting the 11 key allows us to do things like this, to focus down the Piccolo, to deal some really good damage against him. It's just one of those things where that super effective against all types allows you not to have to focus or split damage. It allows you to really, not to split damage, it allows you to really focus your damage and take out a unit, that you really need to take out. You need to kind of control what damage they do or their type advantage, and so it's a super helpful ability for this Gotenks to have. Yes, it's a little bit difficult to do, especially once you level link him. It's going to be quite hard to get that 11 key if you have a good partner running with him, but if you can do it, it's way worth the admin it involves. as you can see, it just helps us kind of almost eliminate Piccolo, and with level linking, or with a crit, or with anything really, we would have taken Piccolo out. So yeah, it is just one of those things. It's super helpful. It allows you not to have to split your damage, not to maximize it. It just allows you to focus down that target enemy. And I think his skill set's super. Obviously, he's built for ESBR, for SBR with the whole 7-turn buff thing. He's built for the shorter format content. So I think, yeah, you know, it's quite apparent that he's built to dominate these kind of stages. And it shows, even at 55%. His kit's well equipped for it. He's performing really well. He's doing, you know, sufficient damage. He's performing well. So yeah, I think, yeah, personally, there's nothing I have bad to say about him. I think he's done really well. It'll be good to see how he does here with an item. These single enemies are probably hit the hardest in the whole ESBR, SBR kind of realm of content. And they're hitting similar, they hit very hard. They are very tough enemies. I mean, look, that's with an item, you're taking 30k. And this is a unit that's got 100, 120k defense. So, yeah, 30k with the item, that's a lot. But, like I say, the important thing is that he survives. And he's done pretty well. I mean, 30k is not bad. It's not going to get you killed. It could be a bit better. A dupe obviously would make this guy perform way better. But his damage will be helpful. And his evasions come in handy. I mean, we've, you know, dodged 2 out of 6 attacks, 3 out of 7 there. So, yeah, that's mitigated 100k damage. So, when you question, does that dodge come in handy? These are the situations where it does. You know, you're taking 100k less than you should have. Simply just because this unit has that dodge capability built in. So, yeah, I think this was a good final defensive showing from him. I think it's nice to see the range of damage that he took throughout the stage. We saw him take a couple super attacks with items. We saw him take a normal attack without items. And now we've seen him take, you know, normals from the hardest, well, one of the hardest ESBR bosses in the game, and survive them. And we saw his evasion come in quite handily. So yeah, overall, I think defensively at 55%, he's more than capable. You do have to be a little bit careful of him, but beyond that, I think you're good to go. I think if you have him, easy M, he's going to help you out. Majin Buu Saga is not maybe his forte. It's a great team for him, but Majin Buu Saga has quite a lot of strong units. But if you are struggling, you only have, let's say you only have the Majin Buu Saga lead, or your team is just struggling in general, you don't have great units, take him. If you have him, take him. He's going to be really, really good. You could even use him in a youth-based Majin Buu Saga lineup. With something like double in the Gotenks leads, he will thrive. He's got plenty great linking partners there, and yeah, he could be a super interesting choice to run in that stage. So yeah, I think he's great. He's got lots of teams that you can run him under. So for me, Gotenks is a solid card. I give him 7, 8 out of 10 at 55% even. I think if you got a rainbow, if you got 2 dupes or something in SS3 Gotenks, you sorted. You're not going to have any problems. He's going to perform great. He's going to really like dish out good damage for you. With a couple dupes in him, he's not going to be at all a defensive liability. He's going to be like super cope super well defensively. And yeah, I'm more than happy with his performance so far. I think he's done great. I think one thing I would like, if after the 7 turns, I have mentioned this before, if after the 7 turns his evasion actually could go up, rather than losing the evasion, losing the attack and defense is fine, but losing the evasion really hurts him. Obviously when the defense numbers and the attack numbers go down, that extra, like an extra 20% evasion would actually make him still quite viable. Because he doesn't have defensive stacking mechanisms in a super attack or anything. Yeah, he doesn't have a greatly stacks for 1 turn or stacks for 2 turns, or stacks, or even just a single defensive raising ability. So, he doesn't have, after 7 turns, his whole viability just drops through the floor. And I think, if that could change, it would be good for the card, or would have been good for the card, I should say, because they're not going to change in easier now. But still, we're getting good ideas here. Look, I mean, he's evading, he's doing good damage. So yeah, if he takes a super attack, we're going to die. But yeah, the evasion came in clutch right there, and yeah, I think it was a good showing from him. But yeah, that's going to be it from me. Let me know how you find Gotenks down below in the comments. And until the next video, cheers and bye.